Good people? Welcome back to Beards of War. All right, man, we need a Dragon Riders today. So it's myself, Thick Nick Fury, and Captain Jack, and we're doing season 2, episode 6, Small Folk of House of the Dragon. So this episode it delves a little bit deeper into the war and the planning and everything that's been going on. There's a lot of underhanded stuff going on, a lot of un- um, attempts to get these dragons involved in the war somehow, and Rhaenyra doesn't have quite the I don't know, I would say the resources to drive these dragons. So we got to find those people. So Cap, I'll let you take it.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, this episode was all the callbacks to Game of Thrones, the first series, Littlefinger, all the different people who trying to just manipulate what's happening at court. And we definitely start to see more of that in this episode. But at the beginning of the episode, we'll just start off. We see the Lannister bannermen are arriving at the Red Fork, and the smugness that comes out of this dude is just so smug. He shows up. Oh, we got 1,000 knights. We got 7 times that in archers. And guess what? We're not going anywhere near Harrenhal until Aemon shows up on his dragon. So let's go ahead and eat because we've been on the road for a couple of weeks.
Yep.
And when Aemon shows up, we'll happily march to war with him because Daemon's up there with a big dragon, and we're not going to go anywhere near it.
I know, and they were like, "Sure, okay." Like there was nothing they could say. There was no rebuttal to it, right? So like, yeah, we're just gonna come in, take over this, sleep, and eat, and all that good stuff. But whenever it happens, it happens. We'll roll out then.
Yeah. We'll send a raven, my lord. Right on it. Yeah, super fun. Meanwhile, we get back to the small council in King's Landing, and Aemon's pissed. He's pretty furious about anybody telling him to get to Harrenhal with haste.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no!
You don't tell me what to do.
No.
No, that's not gonna work. I am what are they called? The Prince regrets or something like that. It's not quite. He's not a king, right?
Prince Regent.
Right, there you go. I'm the Prince Regent, so no one's gonna tell me move with haste, right?
No,
with or without haste, he's just not gonna do it if he doesn't feel like doing
it. And he's Aemond is pretty much like, look, y'all, you need to read the writing on the wall. I'm the next king. Aegon's over there dying.
Right.
You need to make your alliances with me. And we start to see that happening.
Yeah.
But the first thing
is definitely war minded. He's more definitely more cerebral than Aegon, definitely more mature, definitely has an agenda. So he's like, no, this is how it's going to be. He's not taking any type of counsel. He's not even from his mother. Right, Mom? No, sit down over there. Like, matter of fact, just go back to whatever you do here.
Yeah, what is it you do here? Why don't you just go ahead and go back and be domestic?
Yeah, wow.
Just ouch. And you could see Alicent was hurting, man. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But Alicent, she was not happy with what her children have been doing.
Right.
But so we go see, and so Aemon's like, I got all the good ideas today. So the first good idea is, let's go find our enemies and ask the enemy pirates to come attack Rhaenyra's fleet. Everybody's like, oh, dude, you cannot be serious. We're not going to go talk to those guys. Those guys are crazy. The Triarchy? It's like the Triads, man. We're not going to mess with them. No. Everybody at the small council is like, you're crazy, my lord. It's just not going to work.
Not going to happen.
No. So, yeah. And then Kristen Cole tries to come in and be the voice of reason.
Yeah, who saw that coming?
Why aren't you at Harrenhal? That's what Aemon says. Why aren't you at Harrenhal? It's about time for you to get up the road and get to Harrenhal. Mm-hmm. Everybody needs to go do my fighting. Let's go. Get everybody fighting.
That's it. Like, Aemon's like, and this is why it's important to have a 2-parent household. So Aemon is just, he's just taking on this big boy role. Aegon was doing the same thing. Alicent has no control over these kids. But Aemon, like I said, he has an agenda. It's thought through because he's like, I have a dragon, right? Like, whatever you guys are saying, it's like, I have a Hulk from Marvel, right? Like, I have a dragon.
We
So
got a
just
Hulk.
go do it, right? So yeah, and I would say that was a pretty big trump card. Even though there are more dragons out there. So I think the small accounts are trying to do it where well, we got to make small victories and be more strategic. He's like, no, we're just gonna do the ones that I want to do, and this is why, because I have the trump card. So he's weighing heavy on that dragon as the trump card, and he is, like, as of now, the best dragon rider outside of Queen Rhaenyra.
He has the biggest dragon, and he is the person who is very willing to use it.
Right,
So
it's a dragon measuring contest, people.
It is a dragon measuring contest. So, all right, well, so that's King's Landing. Now we're gonna move over to Dragonstone. Over at Dragonstone, we got Lord Corlys shows up, the sea snake, and he's reporting for duty. He's like, "Yep, all right, I got my little hand clip on. I'm ready to come and see what we can do." And so he shows up, and we sit down in the small council. And continuation of the last episode, this conversation that Rhaenyra had with Jace, with Jaceres, was, hey, we need more dragon riders. And what are we going to do to make more dragon riders? Well, we got some scrolls in the Dragon Keep, and they say that long time ago, there was these people, and they were called Darklyn, and they were married in with our house. So let's give that a shot.
Right. So they basically went to Ancestry.com to see if they could find dragon riders. Yeah, so enter Sir Stefan Darklyn. And he was game. He was like, you know what? Yeah, I think I can do this. I think I'm of the blood, right? So why not? Try to get a CDL's commercial dragon license, and it didn't work out too good. Not at all.
No, that was a lot of fire.
Yeah.
And what did you say happened with that dragon guy, man? He just cut his throat.
Right. So, like, one of the dragon, like, burning wasn't happening fast enough, so he just literally unsheathed his knife and cut his throat while he's burning alive. So that was the most gangster. Like, okay, yeah, dude, I'm gonna end it because this is just not happening fast enough. And just to have the wherewithal to do that, like, I've never been fully engulfed in flames, but I can probably guarantee reaching for a knife to end my life faster would not be the first thing I'd be thinking of. Stop, drop, and roll. That's it. I'd have been just rolling around on flames because I'm not pulling out a knife to try to end this faster, But
the only thing I can think is, though, that like stop, drop, and roll, these guys probably drilled what to do if you get hit with dragon fire, because they work with dragons. This is a part of their business, right?
Right.
So they knew, hey, this one will end it real quick. That's the fast way out.
You're not going to put that flame out,
Yeah.
No extinguishers at this time and age.
No.
So yeah.
Well, so then we head up to Harrenhal, right? Because everybody wants to know what's happening at Harrenhal. What's happening at Harrenhal is our boy is not sleeping.
No, he's going through it, man. Like, he's had nightmares ever since he stepped foot in Harrenhal. Like, there's nothing going well with him, and he's just. I'm almost like, why are you still there? Like, dude, get out of there.
This is episode 6. He has been there since episode 2? Like come on. At least 3 episodes. We're gonna say at least 3 episodes he's been there. Right. It's time to move on, bro. I'm sorry, it didn't work out for you. You got people who are just in there trying to, and he's feeling it, man. He is feeling it. Right. So he comes out of one of his dreams, and he confronts Lord Strong, and he's like, "Dude, what are you doing? You're poisoning me. You're my enemy, my friend during the day, my enemy at night. Like, no." And then he freaks out, and he's like, "And stop watching me. Your king is keeping an eye on you."
Right. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying, dude. I'm like, okay, you pretty much like, as soon as you got there, they were like, "Oh yeah, whatever you need." It's not like you're fighting to take over Harrenhal. You have it.
No.
Go move on to the next one. Like, whatever your plan is or was for Harrenhal, I would say mission accomplished. There's nothing else going on there that's helping you at this point. So, like, kind of move on to the next. You know what I mean? So I don't know if it's something subconsciously keeping him there, but
I think he thought that he was going to garrison a large force there because it's such a large space.
Right.
And so I think he thought he was going to garrison all the Riverlands people. And we know that the Riverlands people have been taking their sweet time to come around, but we'll hit up that in a minute. For now, though, we see Daemon has that interaction with Lord Strong, and then he's like, "Nope, I'm done. I'm out of here." he takes his little backpack and he goes out to his little dragon, and on his way there, he runs into Alice Rivers.
Yeah.
And I've seen a lot of lore about her, and we don't even know how old she is. She may be one of these like Melisandre people who are just like around forever. Yeah.
It's definitely something to her, man. Like they just insert these like witch women and they just manipulate and they start to to move pieces on their own, and she's definitely has an effect on Damon because she literally stops him from leaving and basically gives him that in 3 days the winds will change, blah blah blah, that prophecy, so to speak.
Well, as we'll see towards the end of it, I don't think it was a prophecy. It was more like hey bro, I got you.
Right, don't worry about it.
You toughed it out. You dealt with all my dragon dreams I'm giving you. All right, cool. I'm going to go sort this business out for you. So we see that in a little bit. But the sea snake, right, moving back over to the sea snake, this guy, he goes over and he talks to his bastard Alan, and he's like, hey, man, guess what? I need you on board the ship. You're going to war with me. This ship's going to be ready in 3 days, and I need you on it. And I think this is a really interesting. They're really starting to prep something very interesting here. I'm curious to see where it goes, and I hope they pay it out.
Right? Yeah.
Because like we get one in later in the episode, we see Alan shaving, and he's shaving with a straight razor, right? And it turns out Alan's got gold hair. Alan looks like he's a little old Valyria in him. So a little bit. Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, we're going to see something interesting come from that storyline, I think, especially with, the next sea snake, the heir of those guys. There's nobody there, right?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
There's not really anybody there. So, and we know that he's got these bastards, these kids by other women who are out there and they are living the life, right? Like the one is like, look, I am the sea. That is what I do. I'm a sailor. I'm out there. That's my thing. So I don't know. It'll be very interesting to see what they do with that. I just come on HBO. Don't let me down. Don't set it up just to leave it alone.
Right.
Like,
yeah, exactly.
Please pay off this storyline. You spent more time than what made sense at the beginning, I think. So you've got to pay it off. Like, you have to pay off this storyline. There's got to
be a payoff to this. Absolutely.
Yeah. So, after that, we go to King's Landing, and everybody is pretty pissed about Rhaenyra's blockade. Like, we're at least a couple of weeks into this blockade, and fresh food is kind of like something that doesn't exist anymore. The only thing that's around is fish, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
King's Landing is right up on the water, and they got fish, but that's it.
And they see when they do see like the meat, the lambs, and all that comes in, it's like, oh, we know where this food's going. It's going to either to the castle where they have these wild parties and everyone's just having drink and merriment, or they're going to feed the dragons. So either way, the people are not happy, and then when you're not, take care of your constituents, you have riots.
Yeah,
and that's a full psyop plan, man.
Oh, bro. Oh, the psyops are amazing here, right? So we've got the White Worm, who's been over here, and she's pretty predominant in this episode. She's got 4 or 5 scenes with Rhaenyra, and she's over there, and she's like, look, there's more than one way to fight a war. Like, I get it. You want swords and you want dragons, but bro, I can stir up your people. Like, I'm gonna make them all mad. And so that's what we see. We see that they start doing all the whispering about what's going on up in the keep and what's going on in the castle.
Oh, yeah.
And then magically one night, these ships start to come ashore.
Mm-hmm.
And these ships are with a certain
flag
Targaryen flag on it. And it's got a bunch of food.
Mm-hmm. The savior.
That makes it.
Rhaenyra is sending food to King's Landing. So who's that going to win over? The people. And once you've won the people, you've won the city.
Oh yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. there's a lot of frustration after the dragon decides they want to kill Sir Stefan, right? And the small council, we're really seeing a lot of problems with Rhaenyra. She's kind of sick of the mansplaining going on in her life. She's done with it, man. She is like, come on. I have been around a king my whole life. I know what court is like. I know what ruling is. I know politics. And I'm sick of you people. And I guess I forgot to let you know to fear me. And then she just pulls up and slaps homeboy, who's given her a, I told you so message about it was a bad idea to do the Darkland Dragon Rider.
Yeah.
And she just, I guess I forgot to let you fear me. Bam.
Map the course of fate. And the funny thing is, it's like, as the queen, they want to protect her still, right? So they won't let her get on the dragon, even though she knows I'm the one to do this, right? So she understands what she should do, but in its own way, she is taking the advice of the council, even against her own feeling. And like you said, okay, if they're forgetting to fear you, it's because you're not acting as the queen. You're not being in charge. So I think that's going to lead to her like, you know what? Screw you guys. I'm going to do what I know needs to be done. And that kind of comes into place a little bit later.
Yeah. We do see that later. Absolutely. Yeah. So Aemond is over at King's Landing again, right? We're back with Aemond. And Loras is over there trying to do his little finger manipulation nonsense. And Aemond ain't having it. Like, that was so hilarious. That made me laugh so bad. He was like, oh, Prince Aemond, you need to pick a hand. And he's like, you know what? That's right, I do. I'm going to put you in charge of that. And he's like, oh, such an honor. No. I need you to go find my grandfather, Sir Otto Hightower, and bring his ass back to court because, I need a real hand. And no, I didn't mean you. I wouldn't trust you because the Lord Hand, he's never had his family's trust questioned, which is like a big dig for him because everybody knows that Loras only got where he is by setting fire to his father and brother.
Right, exactly. So, yep. So Aemon's smart enough not to trust him.
Aemond is wily.
Yeah.
He's got some smarts to him. He's not stupid. I mean, he's emotional, but he's not stupid.
Exactly.
Like, yeah.
Impulsive like Aegon. Aegon is extremely impulsive and just not very smart, not very savvy. Aemon is savvy, he's smart, but he's still, like you said, emotional, impulsive to a degree, but he's still calculated. So
you say that about Aegon, but Aegon took some licks in the last episode, and Aegon's starting to get smart. He got a little visit from Aemond, and Aemond's like, "What do you remember?" And he's like, "Nothing, absolutely nothing. I don't know what you're talking about. You didn't try to kill me, nah."
Old dragon. Yeah,
nah.
Was I even there? Do I even have a dragon? I don't know.
I'm just a guy. I like to sleep in bed. Yeah, no worries.
Right.
Yeah. Nobody's buying that nonsense. Aegon fears for his life.
Yeah.
And with good reason.
Oh, yeah. Because he knows Aemon's a dude. In a minute, I'll take you out.
Aemon's a snake.
Yeah.
Aemon's a snake. He would come and get you. Absolutely. So we see all that happen, and that's great. And then they pan back to Rhaena, and she's up with the queen's sons, which are her half-brothers.
Right.
And they're up in the Vale, and they're just kind of doing a little hike, and then they stumble upon this burned-out area. And they're like, you said there wasn't a dragon here before. So she goes back, and she starts fighting with, not fighting, but there's a little bit of accusations. Yeah, there's a little bit of accusations with Lady Jane. And she's like, nah, you told me there wasn't a dragon up here. There's definitely a dragon up here.
Something's burning the land.
Yeah. So, guys, this is my prediction. I'm just going to go ahead and put it out there. Next episode or episode 8, but hopefully next episode, Rhaena gets a wild dragon. We've addressed it twice now in season 2 about how Rhaena has no dragon. She has tried and she has failed. They talked about it at the beginning of the episode with the small council. talked about Reyna not getting a dragon,
Right.
and she's all sad and depressed. And I just tell you, writers, you better pay it off, right? Like it's just the perfect moment to put Rhaenyra's team that much up, right? We've got another detail that we're finding out later, and then we've got this situation, which is, I think Rhaena's gonna get a dragon, or if they're gonna be true to Game of Thrones, maybe she'll die trying to claim a dragon, and that'll be even more sad. But I'm hoping she gets the dragon. I'm really hoping she gets the dragon. Yeah.
That's a that makes up for a good like cavalry moment. All the battles going on. All of a sudden, when there comes in this wild dragon with no harness or something, how to train your dragon business.
Absolutely,
a little tooth.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I mean, we'll see. But like I said, I like that theory. I think I agree with you. It's just that would be too big of a story just to let drop. And it would, kind of like bring a full circle to, okay, you're getting the Targaryens on these dragons where they're supposed to be, and we have the sea smoke.
Sea smoke, yep.
Sea smoke that has already burned up the little Sir Saffron. Like, nah, bro, you ain't the one. So he goes out to find his own rider. So that's also going to play a part, in the future episodes. So it's making up for some. I'm going to go and get my own team, put my team together.
Yeah, no, I think it's really good. I mean, so we see that episode, or we see that scene where Sea Smoke suddenly shows up to the beach where Adam of Hull, which Alan of Hull is the bastard of the sea snake, right?
Mm-hmm,
so Lord Corley's son, and so we know that Adam is either his brother or his half brother. It hadn't been answered, but I think we're gonna say it's pretty well answered at this point, because Sea Smoke swoops in and then is like, "No, you're gonna be my rider," right? Mm-hmm. So I think that was hilarious, right? Because Sea Smoke's like, "Yeah, I'm missing having a bond. I'm missing having a pair. Mm-hmm. So I want my pairing, but you guys don't know how to find me a dragon rider. I'll go find me a dragon rider." Mm-hmm. And so that's when Sea Smoke goes out and then goes and grabs Adam of Hull. So yeah, should be interesting. I can't wait to see what happens. But we can't end without talking about the one thing that pissed off Saudi Arabia in this episode. So I don't know if you saw, but if you go check out Rotten Tomatoes or IMDb or anywhere, Saudi Arabians were pretty pissed off about a girl-on-girl kissing scene, and they went and they just they downvoted hardcore. So a quarter of the votes for this program are all from Saudi Arabia, and they're all rating it as a 0 or a 1, whatever the lowest rating is.
Right.
And it's all because Rhaenyra, we've set up some drama. She was having some struggles with the men at her small council. She was looking for some female counsel. She's been getting it from the White Worm, and she got a little more than that from the White Worm today. They had a little makeout in the episode. So
yeah. And,
it's interesting.
I don't think those things are always purely sexual. I think it was just, this is the one person that's actually bringing me some kind of relief, some kind of normalcy, and it just kind of carried over to a kiss. It wasn't anything gratuitous. It was a kiss. They hugged and they got a little close and they kissed. You experiment in college. So I mean, I don't know that it's necessarily going to go anywhere. Because as soon as somebody comes to the door, they're like, they break apart. Like, oh, no, I didn't do that. Did you do that? No. So I don't know. It's nothing to get twisted around the axle about. But this show has had a lot of scenes that would, I would say, were a little more offensive than that. But whatever. I mean, I get it. There are certain beliefs, and it is what it is. But I didn't think it was anything crazy to get nuts over. But King's Landing and everything that's going on there, and they're rioting, and Alicent and what's the other queen's name?
Helena.
Helena, right? They're like running through the streets, and and they're kind of getting fish thrown at them. So it's a
Queen of the
riot going on.
Fishes.
Right. So there's a riot going on at Ninth Landing, and something has to be done. And right now, Rhaenyra's winning the Psyop War. So we'll see how far that goes before anyone's like, okay, listen, I got to do something, because now they're turning our people against us, and that, like I said, that dragon is going to be his end game, response to whatever happens. But as I said, as we were talking about, there looks to be two more kind of dragons waiting in the wings to be on Rhaenyra's side.
I
So
think so.
Dragonstone. So I don't know. And Damon still hasn't come back yet, so we don't even know what his move is going to be, because remember, he also wants the crown for himself.
Absolutely.
So Rhaenyra, you be careful. Like,
Damon,
I don't know.
This is like
with me, right? Like, she's questioning his loyalty. So
she doesn't know.
Worst thing you do is be in charge. Everybody wants the crown.
Yeah, she definitely is not taken for granted that his support is a foregone conclusion. Like, she knows he could just as easily seize the throne for himself, and he says as much in the last episode. Hey, look, when I take my seat on the crown, when I take my seat at King's Landing, she's welcome to sit next to me. Mm-hmm. Like, he wants it. He is ready to take king. He's ready. Absolutely. And the only thing I think that'll stop him will be his death. So
right. Yeah,
we will see what happens.
Yeah. And
but that was episode 6. Yeah.
Yeah. And then at the end, we just have Rhaenyra finally getting her dragon, going to see who's riding Sea Smoke. Like,
and I wanted to cheer, right? Because as she gets the news, and this is right after she had the scene with the White Worm, and so she gets the news, and they're like, Sea Smoke has been spotted over the bay, blah blah blah. She's like, yeah, big deal. He goes over the bay all the time, no problem. And they're like, no, with a rider. And the fury that just shows up inside of her, and as she storms out, Jace is like, hey Ma, hey, where you going? Let's go to the small council. Mm-hmm. No, she's like, I'm done with small councils. She gets on her dragon and she pieces out, bro.
Yeah,
and she's gonna go find it, and that's probably going to be the show opener for episode 7, I'm sure.
There you go.
But yeah. So, all right, guys. Well, it's been a really fun episode, and it's been a fun season. We are 6 out of 8, right? There's 8 episodes.
So. Yeah, I got 2 episodes left.
So if you've got any theories, if you've got any ideas about what's going to happen, let us know in the chat, and we will talk about them next time on House of the Dragon from Beards of War.
All right. Thick Nick Fury out.
All right. Captain Jack out.